Time for Focus. They were formed after the Islamic State group's 2014 lightning offensive in Iraq, so-called Popular Mobilization Unit set up to support the regular army. Well, now those Shiite militias have been legalized in a vote in parliament, and they've been assigned responsibility for the areas west of the city of Mosul. France 24's Adam Pletz and Selim El Medeb followed one of their operations south of Tal Afar.
Praying in the middle of the desert. These men are fighters of the Ali al-Akbar Brigade from Karbala, one of Shia Islam's most holy cities. A watchman keeps an eye on the horizon. In this desert war, as in the streets of Mosul, the car bomb is the jihadists' main weapon. The hastily built defensive mud berms stretch as far as the eye can see.
راح نقدم للقرية الثالثة. زين ودنا نسوي ساتر الطول منها تقريبا راح تصير طوله 15 كيلو متر للمقر للحجيرة العليا اللي هي مقر اللغة. هاي كلها طهرت.
راح تطلع لي قدام لو شوي وبعد.
لا تطلع للصالحية راح اطلع ان شاء الله.
In the distance, a convoy of the Popular Mobilization Units is entering a village held by the Islamic State group. The brigade's commander directs operations from a nearby mound. Their progress is more difficult than expected, so he asks for air support from the Iraqi army. Two Iraqi army helicopters arrive to support them. A car bomb is detected and destroyed. The operation takes place some 30 kilometers south of Tal Afar, a jihadist stronghold populated by Turkmen, some of whom are Sunnis, others Shias. From the former, the Islamic State group have drawn many leaders, while some of the latter, like this man, have joined the forces of the Popular Mobilization Units.
Children and women have suffered enormously. Some of my relatives are still over there. Some have been harmed and even killed. Those who have cooperated with the Islamic State group will be punished on a case-by-case basis.
In the past, the Shia militias have committed crimes against the Sunni population of the cities they've freed. The role they will play in the reconquest of Tal Afar remains uncertain. This Turkmen leader wants them to take part in the battle.
The Iraqi army will enter Tal Afar, specifically the 15th Division, and with them will be Turkmen units of the Popular Mobilization Units. These fighters will accompany the 15th Division when they enter Tal Afar.
Last week, the Iraqi parliament passed a law legalizing these Shia militias, as a result of which they hope to get better weapons, salaries, and pensions for the families of their killed combatants. But for the moment, these brigades of volunteers are far from resembling a regular army.
You know, age is not a problem for us. Some of my brothers in arms are over 70 years old, but they're still active and energetic. They're fighting for their ideology and faith, and more than anything else, to kick these rats of the Islamic State group out of Iraq.
The Shia paramilitary have won many battles against the jihadists, and now use drones mainly to spot car bombs driven by suicide attackers.
Before, when we didn't have these drones, we used to lose dozens of martyrs in every battle. But today, at this stage of the campaign, with our Ali al-Akbar brigade, we only lose maybe 3 martyrs.
They're also waging a war on the media front. Here, one of their communications officers records a piece to camera against the background of the battlefield. And their role may not be limited to Iraq. Their leader, Abu Mahdi al-Muhandis, is ready to cross the borders.
If the source of terrorism is still in Syria or anywhere in the near region, and if it's affecting Iraq, we have the right, if the Iraqi government decides so, to confront these terrorists. Instead of fighting on our soil, we will bring the fight to the territories they still call their own.
With these regional aspirations, and newly recognized by Parliament, the Popular Mobilization Unit's influence is undoubtedly on the rise, something that is widely perceived as a threat by Iraq's Sunni population.
For more on this, I'm now joined in the studio by Caroline Galacteros. She's a geopolitics and strategic intelligence expert. Hello, thank you very much indeed for coming in.
You're welcome.
Now, Adam Pletz, in the report we just broadcast, says, quote, in the past, the Shiite militias have committed crimes against the Sunni population of the cities they freed. So what's being done to put a stop to this? And when Adam says the role they'll play in Tal Afar remains uncertain, is it because of this? Is it because of fears of how they might behave towards Sunnis?
And there is also, of course, a concern about what they've done, of what they have done, but it was isolated cases, as far as I know.
Run us through some
their misconducts were not massive, as sometimes it's said. I don't know what's the reality, but what is certain is that by legalizing them, it's a way also to control them. So, because now the Iraqi military needs them, because they need more fighters.
So they're doing it now because of Mosul?
Because of Mosul, because Mosul is not is not close to be retaken. It will take time.
So they're making progress, though. So we saw their Tal Afar. They have their eyes set on getting Tal Afar back from the Islamic State group. How big a victory would that be?
It's a big victory because Tal Afar is a strategic point and a supply line from ISIS and close to the Syrian border. So it's very important to cut this supply line. So it could be a very good victory if it's also, of course, very sure that Tal Afar has been retaken, which is, every day you have surprises. It's war. So
now, as you mentioned there, then a key point then between Iraq and Syria. These, of course, two countries in which the Islamic State have a lot of territory. And we hear in the report from the head of the Popular Mobilization Unit saying that they might set their sights on Syria next. How would the Iraqi government, though, feel about that?
But the Iraqi government is also in good relations with the Syrian one. So because they have a common confessional concern about Sunni and extremist jihadist Sunni presence in their countries. So yes, of course, he says the chief of the militia says, okay, we could cross the border and enter Syria if it's necessary. I wouldn't be so sure it couldn't be done. Yeah.
But would these Shiite militias only be tolerated, so to speak, or brought into the fold as long as there is this common enemy? And then, let's say the Islamic State group is defeated. What happens then?
But in any case, it would be a public and governmental decision. So it would be of course, in connection with the Syrian government, if something like that had to be done. But it's not the point now. The point is to take Mosul, and the militias were at the beginning of Mosul battle. They were supposed to stay away from Mosul, at 20 kilometers away from Mosul. Now they've been legalized, so I could imagine that, at one point or another, they could enter the city also. And I can understand that it raises concerns, of course, about their conduct.
And what about Iran in all of this? Because they are Shiite militias. Iran is the Shiite powerhouse in the region. So how much influence does it have over these groups?
They've got from the beginning. They've got money, arms, and support from Tehran. So Iran, I think, is in the loop, as we say. Of course.
And what about Turkey? Because we've seen Turkey saying they want to protect Turkmen in Tal Afar, for example. So then is it, in a way, setting up Iran versus Turkey?
Yes, but, Turkey is back Turkey is back in Syria, and Turkey has also some ambitions, and a big regional ambition and a big ambitions in Iraq and in Syria. So Turkey is also saying that they want to protect Turkmen's population. Okay, it's probably it's a pretext, as we would say. It's a pretext to have a reason to intervene.
To play a more important role in the region.
Of course.
All right, I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thank you very much, though, for coming in, Caroline Galleg-Terros.